because my way out is out here, then up a big hill, and it's too steep to pull any wood with the four-wheeler, so I need to use this truck. So they got the chains on the back. We've been getting quite a bit of rain here this summer too, but luckily we had a couple days break so I could get down here. So I got to bust all those too. I don't want to say that my 880 is the fastest or anything like that. I mean, I'm not a professional porter. I just bought some tools, a right angle piece from CC Specialty, one of the good ones, a couple burrs, timing wheel. Watched a bunch of other people making videos on how to do it. That's kind of how I learned. Trying to keep them from rolling under the truck. Although they don't look like it, each of these halves weighs like 70 pounds. When I get the truck loaded, I might turn the camera back on and show you that it's squatting pretty good. It's got it's got a set of springs out of a Suburban, 2500 Suburban. Bought those from a junkyard because we knew that they weren't, whoever owned that vehicle before us, or the springs basically, we knew that they weren't really hauling real heavy, so they weren't all worn out. So it's got the overload from those. We added 2 leaves from the original leaf pack, and then the original overloads that are like the flat ones. I can show you the flat ones here, and then it's got 1.5 inch blocks in the back to keep the back end from sagging too low. It used to be bad, it would sag pretty bad. Just got a set of standard chains on it. These are a game changer when you're in the woods. Do not like getting stuck, and that's just a little bit of cheap insurance. To ensure that I don't get stuck in any reasonable situation. I get this 201. This is the other one of my other saws. This is one of the ones that I use the most. This is 201. Works good for little stuff like that, and cutting all the small pieces that you can hang on to with one hand. That's been a good saw so far. Little 12-inch bar on it. If I'm cutting anything bigger than that, I need to get one of the bigger saws out, one of the rear handle ones. But I used to have a 193. Well, I still do. That's pretty worn out. Man, I ran that saw really hard. I cut, I don't know how many cords of wood, a lot. Probably over 100 cords of wood with it. Full cords. A 24-foot pile. Hopefully these aren't too heavy. Nope, not too bad. And as the wood gets up in the truck, then you're having to throw it in there higher. So splitting them in half just makes sense. I busted this up today. I gotta fix that tonight for tomorrow. One log, didn't throw it quite far enough and cracked her right in half. That's this frame on here. One is to be able to haul a little bit more and give the back glass a little bit of protection, but also to keep this rear of the bed from spreading out. That's something these older trucks do. The bed's a little bit weak in that regard. But yeah, it's kind of something that was needed for hauling wood. I don't ever take the tailgate down, put the tailgate down when I'm hauling like this, because just on uneven ground it might not shut. There's the big dude. Glad that one's in there. All right, looks like we're gonna get back to splitting. What I'll do now is I'll arrange all of these so I can cut them in half, all in a row. Let me see if I can get that one. That one, it looks like I already cut before I cut some of these. Can't really do a whole lot when you got that 880 in your hands. Pretty heavy. Pretty heavy saw. I might cut a couple rounds off of here just to show you how fast that it cuts. I'll have to post a video of me cutting with a 32 up on my test log. Cuts. I mean, it's definitely my most powerful saw. Now, if it cuts the fastest, I don't know. I haven't really tested it against my 661. One needs to be cut off completely. I had a YouTube channel before, but I deleted it, and just now I'm getting back into it. It's just like what I like to do. So I don't know, I figured start it back up and kind of show you a little bit of what I do. Maybe you'll pick up a little bit, pick up a tip or two. Kind of the way I do things. That was my old test log before it tipped over there. See some cookies cut off of it. I think that one I'll bring my small trailer down here and cut that stump off, and then have a new test log, bring it up to the house, so I don't have to come all the way down here to the woods to make a couple test cuts. All right, let's get her fired back up. Oh yeah, this Lasto Star finally broke on me. I need to fix that, but it's still functional, so it's not really high on my to-do list. Do some splitting. on me. I used the last bit of that one as a test log on new saw builds. I get to it this fall slash winter. Now is wood cutting time. That is a rush, I'll tell you that. That thing's got the power. Get a sip of some water. Pretty hot when you're running that saw with all the exhaust coming back at you. That's really why I want that bark box of that thing. Oh, I missed one direction too. Good and cold, that's what you need. Just a real old split maul here, nothing fancy. I think this is 8 pounds, or was originally 8 pounds. It needs a touch up a little bit. I like to keep them pretty dull, pretty blunt. It doesn't stick. Someone commented at one point on my other channel and said that it's faster to split than cut. Well, it might be if you're only cutting one load a day. But this is number 6, so I'm cutting them now. I'm tired. I don't have enough. Oops. Man. Missed twice. But I don't have as much strength and whatnot as I had this morning. Like I started out here about 11 today. Had to do some stuff to get ready to do this. But then pretty much no break to get a couple hot dogs for lunch. There we go. And I don't know, I guess also it's true if you got perfectly nice flat ground, it's a little bit easier to split them. But if you're on this steep hill like I am right now, it probably doesn't really show up on camera, but it's kind of why I'm hitting them all from above to give myself the most advantage. I like that. Only need one hit. Had to bust through a knot there. It cuts quite a bit faster with a 3/8 chain. The 404 takes a lot of power to pull. For my 661, I found a 404 chain. I mainly wanted it because I just kind of figured that it would rip better, have better clearing of those big noodles. So I bought a 20-inch 063 Sumara bar and put a 404 tip on it. And that used to be my wood splitter setup. But once they came out with this 880, I knew I had to get one. So I knew it'd be perfect for this. Ported, of course. I think you're better off with a 661 or 395 if you're not going to port it, because it's, in my opinion, pretty weak stock. I was like, made a couple cuts with it, so yeah, this is, let's go back to the 661 for now until I have time to port it. I didn't have to do any machine work. Like I said, I didn't have to cut the base or anything, because I used that taller piston. I just had to make a little sleeve that fit over my 52mm mandrel that I already had made. I think, yeah, this is a red oak tree here. We were in the chestnut oak, which was that tree. That wood tends to rot quicker. A little bit harder to split. Got two more, so we can get them. Ah, come on. There we go. One more. Probably will throw all these from up here down there first, get them close to the truck. I don't know if this will fill the truck up. Might have to cut a little more, but I do not believe in hauling half loads. If I'm going to come down here, I'm going to get a full load. Won't take that much more time. Here's the advantage of that downhill. Yeah, also, I mean, I want to get another 880, and I guess one for just to have a spare, 'cause I don't know how long that thing's gonna live running like that. But for this other one, I'd like to have it for a mill, and I guess port it more reasonably. I have a Meteor 3120 piston as well that I've been saving for, I guess, whenever this thing decides to go. I think what's weak in it is the crank. Sounds like a tree fell over there. I don't know if you heard that, but that's kind of what it sounded like. Ooh, heavy. Yeah, these are probably 80, 90 pounds, be my guess. This morning I probably could throw them pretty much almost to the truck, but now gas tank's pretty low. Usually if the tree's over about 16 inches, that's when I start cutting them, just to make it easier to load, unload. My wood pile area is not super big, so I like to get it pretty high, pretty tall. I'll probably cut and haul for a couple more weeks, and then go on a split and binge. That's just kind of always how I've done it. Shit. Have to drive forward a little bit. Get that one. Seen a lot of earthworms out here today. Whew. I brought my strap, so what I'll do is I'll hook up to that one and just pull him out a little bit. So I don't want to cut any more trees down to get to all of that one. I guess that's what I'll do there. Ideal situation is you have wood cut on all 3 sides, so you can load the whole truck up evenly. Then you're not having to walk around or try to throw it over, which is pretty difficult. That's a heavy one. The other thing that's nice about busting them or cutting them with this is you pretty much get them a perfectly cut in half, so they're equal weight. This is really about the max that I want to lift. This tree was much bigger. I might cut it in three chunks. Yeah, this will probably fill the truck up, to be honest. Whoa, a little slippery. The boots that I'm wearing are JKs. You get a swig of water and I'll tell you a little bit about those. So these boots are they're a JK OT, so they're 8 inches tall, and they have the low heel but the wide base, and I have wide feet, so I ordered a 8.5 double E. I really wear like a size 10. My feet are about 11 inches long, but 8.5 wide is what size is good for me. And these are the best boots that I've ever had. Yes, they cost a lot of money, but when you're doing stuff like this, you need good boots. Otherwise your feet get all messed up and the boots don't last. The other thing I really don't like is loose shoes and shoes that don't have good support. Personally, I like the low heel better. I was originally going to get the regular Super Duty logger boot, but I wanted an 8-inch what's it called, 8-inch tall cuff or whatever. So I went with these and kind of figured that these would work good for what I'm doing with them. Only little complaint is I wish they had a little shank here, a little bit thicker, for when you're on like ladders and stuff. Then I feel like this would be the ultimate boot. But it's pretty good as is. That's just a minor complaint. But I noticed it when I was shoveling, that I kind of prefer my old boots that have a thicker midsection there for digging. Ooh, that's the heavy one right there. Usually I can cut in the summer like this and dry it out in the sun, you know, single stack piles, and it'll be dry by winter time, dry enough to sell. I mean, I guess if it's a lot drier than wood that other people are selling, at least that what I've seen in my area. You can't just sell wood that you just went out and cut, and just because the tree's dead or whatever, you think that it's dry. It's not. Getting pretty tough to get it up to the front there. I don't want to potentially hit that window. That'd be bad news. One day I had my phone in my pocket all day, doing kind of the same thing I'm doing here, and I had like 20,000 steps. I don't know how accurate that is, but I would assume it's pretty accurate. You can see how you gotta basically throw it above your head now. So it's nice having them cut, and cutting them in half, you can get a few more in there. It just makes it easier to handle them. Keep the weight closer to your body. I can get a couple more right there. I'll probably just go ahead and bust a couple of these a little bit bigger ones so I can get them all in there. This is a nicer one, a little bit lighter. Put a couple more in there. Maybe see if we can get them all just for fun. That one had some water in it. I'm wearing these Maxi Flex gloves. They're pretty good. Get a decent amount of life out of them. A lot better than just using your bare hands. Getting your hands possibly cut up. Gives you a little more grip. Yeah, we can get them all. Should be pretty good and full. Oh, darn. I figured that was gonna happen. I put the last one right there. All right, let's get in, roll forward a little bit. This is an old 83 Chevy K20. Carburetor leaks a little bit. No big deal, you just got to do that a little bit. Pump throttle. Open the butterfly up a little bit. That's probably far enough. Oop. Let's get these two and let's get up to the house. Time for a beer. I consider that a pretty good load. You can probably get a couple more pieces on there, but only if you have wood on all three sides. That should stay. It was a hot one today. That's my other test log right there. Nice 20-inch one. Good for a little smaller saws testing.